If you've ever wondered what spirited away actually means, like being taken away by the spirits, then this video is for you. So when people vanish, when they are spirited away, you have to wonder. This much everyone knows, but here's the part that most people seem to miss. What can we do to stop ourselves being spirited away? And for those of us who enter the realm of the kami on a regular basis, Yamabushi and the like, there are a few things that we do in preparation. Spirited Away, great movie, right? It also happens to be one of the most accurate portrayals of spirituality in Japan, for reasons you probably didn't think of. Let me explain. The Japanese title for Spirited Away is Sento no Kamiaki. But to be honest, it took me a very long time to learn how to say this in Japanese. The Sento part is quite easy to remember. Yubaba takes away the hiro part of Chihiro's name, leaving one character, which is Sen. By taking part of her name, Yubaba takes part of Chihiro's actual identity, reinforcing her control over Chihiro. This was part of the big reveal at the end with Haku, the part of the film that made me cry. Thankfully, or not, Sento Chihiro is more than enough for Japanese speakers to understand exactly what you're trying to say. Yubaba's influence is only so strong. But when it came to the Kamikakushi part, admittedly I had no idea what it meant. I mean, I knew Kami as the Shinto deities, but the Kakushi part, which comes from the word kakusu, to hide, I had no clue. So I ignored it, as any budding learner of Japanese would. Until, of course, I realized that Kamikakushi is actually extremely easy to remember. Take a wild guess at what it means. For a hint, look at the English title of the film. That's right, Kamikakushi is the spirited away part of the title. It turns out, unlike other film titles and their Japanese adaptations, Wild Speed Super Combo or Bus Boy, the English title of Spirited Away is actually pretty much spot on. Well, how Sen and Chihiro were spirited away doesn't quite have the same ring to it, but you get what I mean. So, what does spirited away actually mean? Watch the movie. It gives a pretty detailed account, but basically, since ancient times in Japan, the disappearance of a person was attributed to the handiwork of the kami, or other divine spirits, but not just any divine spirit. Yokai found in the mountains of Japan, such as Yamauba or Yamamba, like those on Zao-san or Yudono-san, Oni demons, or just straight up foxes, true story, were known to take part in Kamikakushi. Since many of the victims were children, Ame Onna, a female yokai who also lost her own children, is believed to be at fault a lot of the time, or, depending on who you believe, in what was termed Tengu Sarai. Missing children were thought to be the handiwork of the mythical Tengu. Yes, that goblin-like being that has traces on the mountains all over Yamagata. In some rare cases, the abducted person returned, a shell of their former selves, forever changed by what they saw. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. One famous victim of Kamikakushi was Minamoto no Yoshitsune. Minamoto no Yoshitsune apparently learned swordsmanship, tactics, and magic from a Dai Tengu, a great Tengu named Sojobo. This story is depicted in a No play called Kurama Tengu, but this was quite the rarity, it would seem. So what can we do to stop Kamikakushi? What can we do to stop ourselves being spirited away? As with many things in Japan, prevention goes a long way. Naturally, people went about protecting others from falling prey to the divine spirits. One extremely simple way they did this is with something you see all over Japan: shimenawa ropes. The ropes with white lightning tassels draped over shrine entrances, sacred trees, boulders, or any sacred object in Japan. You see, shimenawa ropes have a much more important role than most people realize. Sure, they signify the border between the sacred and the profane. When you pass through a shimenawa rope, you're crossing into the realm of the kami. This much everyone knows, but here's the part that most people seem to miss. Shimenawa work both ways. Originally, shimenawa were meant to keep people out of sacred space altogether, but just as importantly, they were designed to keep things from the other side from leaking back into our world. So when people vanish, when they are spirited away, you have to wonder, did they go into the sacred area or did something come out of it? Just like Chihiro enters the world of the spirits by passing through a tunnel, we Yamabushi also pass through a distinct border, which in our case is the Zuishinmon gates at the base of Mount Haguro, and this clearly defines the border between the profane and the sacred. The bathhouse in Spirited Way also represents a liminal location, much like the mountains in Yamabushi training, which is where the transformation occurs. Put simply, the transformation is chaotic. It's extremely challenging, but at the same time it is very, very meaningful. And when you emerge from this liminal location, you are completely changed, but you reclaim your true identity. And for those of us who enter the realm of the kami on a regular basis, Yamabushi and the like, there are a few things that we do in preparation. I have here a shime necklace. This has the same effect as the shimenawa ropes. It provides a border between sacred and profane to anyone who wears it. And we wear them what would seem to be backwards, and there is a key point for this. For more senior Yamabushi, we have what's called a futodasuki, which has a mirror on the back. And we wear it over our shoulders like this. Evil is known to spring up on you, seemingly out of nowhere. That's why we wear things that protect us from where we can't see. So the next time you find yourself in a sacred area in Japan, you might want to pick up one of these shime necklaces. The strong message throughout Spirited Away is that growth comes through suffering and humility. And this mirrors the Yamabushi ethos actually very well, in that for Yamabushi, the transformation or the awakening or growth comes through going through difficulty, not avoiding it. Spirited Away is a great reminder that when we lose who we are, we find out who we could become. As a Yamabushi, I felt that too, out in the mountains where things aren't exactly comfortable or certain, and where I've been forced to take on a different identity. And perhaps this is what Miyazaki was trying to get at, that the sacred truly isn't that far away. It's just on the other side of fear and uncertainty. But if we find the courage within ourselves to cross that line, then we emerge changed. If this story resonated with you, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want more from the mountains of Japan, don't forget to sign up for the Kiwi Yamabushi newsletter at kiwiyamabushi.com. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy my video about how I met one of the tengu on the mountains here in Yamagata. Or check out my video on Zao-san where I come across the yokai called Yamamba. I'm Tim Bunting, the Kiwi Yamabushi, Kakitiano, and I'll see you next time.